Dear friends in Christ, today we are in the fourth Sunday of the ordinary time, and falling on the 2nd of February, we also celebrate the feast of the presentation of the Lord. In this feast, we celebrate three things. First of all, today we remember the presentation of the Lord in the temple. Jesus is being brought to the temple for the very first time, and he is being presented to the Lord because he belongs to the Lord. For a Jew, every firstborn, especially the male child, belongs to the Lord. So they came to present the Jesus to the Lord. Today also we celebrate the feast of the redemption of Jesus. After having presented Jesus in the temple, they have to buy back. So they have to pay 5 shekels of silver, or they have to sacrifice a lamb, offer 2 doves or pigeons. So they buy back, they redeem the child. We also remember the purification of Mother Mary. As per the Jewish custom, the mother, if she had given birth to a male child, she is being considered as unclean for 40 days. If she has been given a birth to a girl child, she is being considered unclean for 80 days. Mother Mary, on the 40th day, she brings the child. Also, she has come to purify herself. It is also the custom of the Jewish social custom that this occasion helps the new mother to reintegrate with the community. This feast is also in some places known as Feast of Encounter, because Jesus, Mary and Joseph represent the New Testament. Simeon and Anna represent the Old Testament. The New Testament and Old Testament meets today, and thus this feast also called as the Feast of Encounter. In the first reading, we hear Prophet Malachi prophesies that God will come down like a refining fire, purifying priests and people. And we see in the Gospel, Joseph and Mary brought Jesus to the temple. Simeon and Anna recognizes Jesus. He is the new refining fire that has come to the temple. But we must also see Jesus, the Redeemer, is being redeemed. Mary, the pure one, the immaculate person, is being purified. It's a very contradictory, but yet we must identify the humility that the Holy Family was living. They humbled themselves to obey the law, to obey the God. That humility we must see in this feast of presentation of the Lord. Every Eucharist that we celebrate invites us to present ourselves fully to the Lord. It calls us to offer ourselves fully, freely, totally to the Lord. St. Peter Julian Eymard, who is known as the Apostle of the Eucharist, took personally the 4th vow called vow of personality. Basically, to surrender himself totally to the Lord. He says, I quote in his own words, "Nothing is for me, everything is for him." Jesus in the Eucharist gives himself fully to me, and I must give fully and freely to him. And such was his passion. He offered himself with the spirituality of gift of self. The church also commemorates the 2nd of February as the World Day of the Consecrated Life. In 1997, Pope Paul II instituted this day of the World Day of Consecrated Life. Today, we celebrate the 24th World Day of Consecrated Life. As Jesus is being presented, as we celebrate the feast of the presentation of the Lord, every consecrated person is called to offer himself or herself totally and freely, and more than that, with the spirit of humility. Jesus, the Redeemer, offered himself in humility to be redeemed. Mary, the pure one, offered herself in humility to be purified. And we are called to offer ourselves fully and freely in the spirit of humility to the Lord, so that every person in the world, especially the consecrated persons, may relive the life of Jesus here and now, today, in this world. Amen. God bless you all.